Nobody tells you about the quiet. You spend 40 years surrounded by people, by noise, by a to-do list that never ends. And then one Tuesday it just stops. And nobody warned you what that silence would feel like. Here's the thing. If you're 65 to 70 years old, you're in one of two camps. Either you've found your feet and this new season feels exciting, or you've already hit that wall where the quiet feels heavier than you'd ever admit. Maybe you wake up and don't know what the day is for anymore. Maybe you're going through the motions and pretending you're not. Unfortunately, I've been in that second camp, and I know what it feels like to look in the mirror and think, how did I get here so fast? But look, I'm here now, and I've had to deal with it, and so do you. So stick with me, because over the next few minutes I want to tell you the 3 things about life after 60 that nobody puts in the brochure. And by the end, I think you'll see that quiet differently. So what's actually going on here? It's not the money. Most of us are worried about the money, and that's real. But that's not the thing that keeps you up at night. It's that you wake up on a Monday morning and you don't know who you're for anymore. You spent your whole life being the provider, the manager, the person people came to. And now the phone's gone quiet and you're standing there wondering where you fit. And here's what makes it harder. There's a guilt that comes with it. You're supposed to be grateful. This is what you worked for, right? So when you feel flat or lost, you don't say it out loud. You think there's something wrong with you. See, you can't move forward through a life you haven't honestly looked at. And most of us never look. We just keep pretending the ride isn't as bumpy as it is. So let me name the 3 things nobody tells you. The loss of identity, the loneliness you don't admit to, and the guilt for feeling both. That's what we're going to sit with for a moment. Honestly. Now here's the part that might surprise you. I'm 66, and I've sat with enough people in this exact spot to tell you this. That lost feeling you're carrying, it isn't the end. It's a door. You just weren't told it was there. Think about it. For the first time in your adult life, the hours belong to you. There's no boss, no roster, no one's expectations running the show. That's not a loss. That's a blank page. And here's the truth nobody says out loud. Retirement isn't the end of your life. It's the first time it's actually fully yours. That's a big idea, and I don't want to rush past it. Because if you can see that quiet as a blank page instead of an empty room, everything after this changes. So let's walk through the 3 things one at a time. The first thing nobody tells you is this. There's a gap between stopping work and starting the next thing. And that gap is supposed to feel like this. You don't walk out of a 40-year career on a Friday and wake up on Monday with a whole new sense of purpose. That's not how it works. You have to grieve the ending first. Even if you didn't love the job, even if you were counting down the days. Because that job gave you something you didn't know you were using. A shape. It told you where to be, what to do, who you were. And when it's gone, you're not just unemployed. You're unmade, just a little. Let me tell you what I see. When someone sits across from me in those first few weeks, they almost always say the same thing in different words. I don't know what I'm doing. And underneath it, what they're really saying is, I don't know who I am without the title. So give yourself permission to feel that. It's not weakness. It's the start of the real transition. The second thing nobody tells you is this. You don't need a purpose the size of a career. You need a reason to get up on a Tuesday. See, we get told our whole lives that purpose is this grand, one big thing mission. And so when we retire, we feel like we have to go find a mountain to climb. That's too much pressure, and it's why so many people stalled. Finding purpose after retirement isn't about some huge mission. It's about 3 small things you actually look forward to. That's it, 3 things. Maybe it's the garden. Maybe it's a phone call you make every week to someone who needs it. Maybe it's finally learning the thing you never had time for. Small, real, yours. And here's the part nobody says. You don't have to figure out all three today. You just have to pick one and let it start. Before I give you the third thing, let me ask you something. When did you last feel like yourself? Not busy, not productive, just you. Hold that thought. The third thing is the one that ties it all together, and it's this. The people who thrive after 60 didn't find more time. They gave the time they had a shape. That's the difference. The quiet feels heavy when it has no edges, but the moment you put even a small shape around it, a walk at the same time, a project, a person you're responsible to, the quiet turns into something else entirely. It becomes your time. Remember the quiet I told you about at the start? It stops being quiet the day you decide what you're building in it. So here's what I'd invite you to do. Just one thing this week. Not 12, not a whole new life plan. One small thing that gives one day a shape. Write it down tonight. That's it. Awareness without action changes nothing. But one small action, repeated, compounds. That's how this next chapter gets built. One honest look, one small step at a time. Now, if any of this is landing, if you're sitting there thinking, that's me, that's exactly where I am, I want you to know you don't have to figure it out alone. I've built programs for exactly this, for people in that gap, that quiet, that blank page. There's a link in the description below. Take a look, find the one that sounds like you, and reach out. I'd love to help you through the next step. Remember, your future is built daily. One decision, one action, one step at a time. But until next time, you have a great day.